Well, I haven't had one of these in for a while. An exhaust manifold with a crack in it, which on this one runs all the way down here. Does it go down there a little way? Maybe. Wouldn't be surprised if it goes all the way around, but I think we'll just concentrate on this top bit. I don't know how we're going to get on with this. I've got some nickel based so-called cold welding rods. I think I will warm this up a bit anyway. I can only do it with a propane torch, but I think a bit of heat won't hurt. You can see the crack on the inside. Yeah, running across here. So first job is going to be grind a groove in this, and I think I will just use an old grinding disc and an angle grinder. See how we get on with that first, I think. Well, this is a bit awkward. I can't get in here. I would need a much bigger disc, and even then I'm not going to get down here, so I think this is going to be a die grinder job. Okay. Right, I need to get this held in a vice. It's walking away from me, but also there's a heck of a lot of muck in there, as you'd kind of expect. The soot from inside the manifold has kind of seeped through the cracks, so that's pretty filthy. Yeah, we're just about getting it to clean up after a bit of grinding. The first bit of the grinding is just smearing the soot all over the surface, so maybe I'll wire brush this first. Well, that's pretty useless. I think I should just have to persist with the carbide burr and the die grinder. Oh, this thing is in the way. And it looks like they've already tried to take this out and not succeeded, so I don't know if I want to waste my time trying to shift that. See if I can work around it. Well, it's kind of ground out, it's a bit filthy, which could cause us some problems. I have to try and clean it out as much as I can first. Right. Right, I've had these rods for ages. Obviously made in France, but for cold welding. £70, blah 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 blah. I think in the French it actually says don't preheat. Ne pas ne pas presser la pièce. I don't mean if that's a don't or not necessary, but I'm going to give this a little bit of a preheat just to take the chill off it. Right, just going to take the chill off of this. I don't think it will hurt. Right, what we're using is a very old, very basic MMA stick welder, and it's that basic that you adjust the amps by winding the knob on the front, and you just wind this knob backwards and forwards or in and out, and the current setting shows through this window. So we're going to set this at 70 amps and give this a go. Oh no, I need a striking block. What have I got? Nothing to hand. Apart from the earth clamp, let's give that a go. Well, that looks pretty crap. I think possibly these rods are a bit old. Coating, I don't know, softened or something. I have no idea. I don't use them often enough to know what they're supposed to be like, but I'm sure they're not supposed to be like that. Oh let's give this a clean up, see what it looks like. Well, that's looking pretty horrible. The flux or the slag that's come off of from the flux, it's just kind of mixed in with the weld. We've got a bit of a bead going on here, but right next to it is a big groove full of flux, slag, whatever. So I'm going to have to grind this out. See what it looks like. This bit over here is horrible. Oh, nasty. Well, I can't really get a brush in there to clean it, so we're going to attack it with a Dremel, clean it out. Yeah, I might take it over to the TIG machine and see if I can either flow this in or possibly knock the flux off one of these rods and try and TIG weld it. Right, this is all pretty horrible. There's a few reasonable weld beads, but unfortunately that is only stuck to this side and not over here, which is where we were trying to fill the crack in. So that's not very good. There's lots of bits which are really horrible, craters. There's a couple of parts where we've kind of bridged across the gap, so I think what I'm going to try and do is to get a TIG torch on those, try and work from those and in this direction and try and flow all this in. Hopefully it will pick up the other side up to here, and do something similar along across that point, which is that almost bridged? No, it actually isn't. It's on that side, but not over there. That's kind of bridged across, so that might be a candidate for starting with a TIG torch. Try and flow that in and sort of work up this way and that way. Big crater there. That's going to be a job to fill that in. That's not very good. Again, here the weld bead's attached to this side and not that side. And the same over this corner. So all in all, not very good. And that's probably a lot down to me not being in practice and haven't done this for a while and was never very good at it in the first place. And also I think the rods being old probably didn't help, and the basic machine didn't help either. I had a lot of trouble getting the arc going in the first place, and a lot of modern machines have got kind of anti-stick circuitry inside them which lets you strike the arc and start welding a lot easier. I was really struggling there, and once I got going it was just hard to see what I was doing. So okay, let's get the TIG torch going. I probably won't be able to video it, so there'll probably be a bunch of stills if we get anywhere. Right, I thought we'd just have a little look at these rods. As I said before, I've had these for ages. And the coating on them looks kind of white and fluffy, which I think is a bad sign. I don't know if they absorb moisture over the years or something. Yeah, because that would be the reason why rods are kept in a... You get ovens, don't you, for keeping rods in? Probably for putting into before you're going to use them. So yeah, I think we had a bit of a problem going on there. They were kind of fizzing as I was trying to weld, so I'm going to blame part of my problem on the rods. And what I'm going to do, I've got some that have been used. I don't know if I shall need much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bash the, I hope, yeah, just break the coating off of them. Bit of a sand over with some emery cloth or abrasive cloth. I don't know what is abrasive cloth these days. When I were a lad it was emery cloth and the grit was dark. And nowadays it's this kind of reddish brownish colour. I think it's aluminium oxide, but is that still, what was emery? Whatever. Right, let's clean this up. I don't know if you can buy nickel rods like this bare for using with a TIG torch. Possibly it's not something you'd normally do. You'd just get nice newly coated ones and just use them with a stick welder, but I don't know, maybe you can get nickel rods without having to go through this palaver of getting the old flux off. I'm not quite sure what the diameter of this is. The box says 2.5, so yeah, it's not far off of 332, is it? So let's see how we get on with that. I think that's clean. Well, I'm just trying to flow in the weld that we did get from the stick welder. I'm just getting so much soot coming out of this. I'm tempted to try and... Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll switch the machine to AC, which I sometimes like to use for brazing on... sometimes do brazing on cast iron. And I think AC with just the balance turned right down to, I don't know, 10% or something, just to give a bit of cleaning action. And I think I might try a bit of that on this. I don't know if that will clean the soot up, I don't know. But this is horrible. So much soot coming out of this. I suppose I could just keep running the arc across and it will kind of burn it out. Well, I don't think I've ever contaminated so many tungstens in such a short time. I don't know what was going on there. It's almost as if it was jumping up. You know, you was getting little explosions coming out of the whirlpool and jumping onto the tungsten and contaminated them, and then you obviously get a... That makes the arc fizz around and bounce all over the place, and just things you can't keep on. It just gets worse and worse. So you've got to stop and clean them up, or change the tungsten. And after a while, you haven't got any more clean tungstens to change, so you have to stop and clean up all the contaminated ones. Oh, I don't know whether it's the nature of the job, cast iron manifold with soot in the crack, or having tried to do it with the nickel rods with a stick welder and left a load of flux or slag in the weld, which you're then going over, and it just kind of fizzles and yeah, horrible. Anyway, let's get these tungstens cleaned up and hopefully finish the job off. Well, doesn't look too bad on camera, but this is a bit of a scruffy weld really, but it's done the job. It's back together. Well, it wasn't really apart, but there's a crack all the way through, and it was blowing, so hopefully that has sealed it all up. I've got to say that is not the best way of doing it though. Firstly, don't use rods which are like 20 odd years old. Just no, they're not going to work very nice, no matter how good a welder you are and what kind of machine you've got. I think that was a bit much to expect. And then using those rods with a coating knocked off and using them to TIG weld, yeah, that wasn't probably a very good idea either. I think the best option for these things is, if you're going to use TIG torch, TIG braze it with phosphor bronze. Seen people do that, and it looks like it's a pretty good way of doing it. This was tricky, but I was getting a lot of crap coming out of this, partly possibly to do with the flux left from the stick welding, but also the nature of the job. Cast iron and its exhaust manifold, carbon on the inside coming through the crack. Oh, yeah. Not the easiest things to deal with, but it's done. So another one to chalk up to experience, and next time I think we'll braze it.